Hi, my name's Dan Keane. I'm a composer, producer, and musician based in London. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week, I don't really have a plan, to be perfectly honest. I have loads of stuff that I want to talk about at the moment. I want to talk about this thing soon, show you how to use that. Tristan Noon replied to my email about potentially bringing him on as an orchestrator for the project that I showed you last week. But this week, I thought I'd just get back to the basics because often, and I get comments on it quite a lot, it's just people want to see me writing or just playing around with new sounds. So this week, I'm going to shed a little bit of light on a few sample libraries by a company called Elementary Sounds. You may have seen their stuff before. I discovered them on an Instagram advert and I showed my interest and they willingly sent me everything they have, which is very kind of them. So I'm going to show you 3 of their libraries today. I don't know if I'm going to write a piece with it. I guess I could just kind of come up with a bit of a sketch. But the main thing is I just want to get back into making videos like these where I get to share some tips and tricks and generally just have a bit of fun making sounds. So I'm going to show you 3 libraries today. And the first is, I believe, their first library that came out. This is called Romina 1, and it's an electric guitar. It's got lots of character right out of the box. And one of the things that I love about this, something that I want to return to in another video to come, is, what makes the perfect sample? Because obviously on one hand, you've got these instruments that sound very realistic. And if I listen, I think this sounds like a guitar. But then there's also the character that's baked into something where they've taken a sound and then they've done weird things to it. For example, if I move the mod wheel, you can see this GUI moves in interesting ways. Check this out. And suddenly it's got its own little world in there. And this applies to all of the instruments that Elementary Sounds has. They use this mod wheel, or you can drag up on the UI to add cool little pads. These are the things that I like to do on Piano Book. If you haven't seen, I'll leave down below the link to my Piano Book author page with all of my instruments on it. It's always really, really fun just to create instruments, get feedback from the community. And now they've added a new tipping feature, which, by the way, if you want to support what I do, you can buy me a coffee there. So this library, it does a lot of what I really like. And if I just bring it back to ground zero, you can hear that it has a very warm tone to it. Now I'm using the sustain pedal at the moment, and one little gripe that I would ask for them to maybe fix is if I hold the sustain pedal down, you can hear that the slide happens after I've lifted up the key, but before I've lifted the sustain. So if I turn up this release here, I would suggest writing a little script where if the sustain pedal is down, maybe you don't hear the slide. Not sure. But we've got a few different microphone positions here, and we can also pan the mics in different directions. Again, I think it would be quite nice to have like a little L or a little R or something, because if I turn it all the way to the left, that looks the same as all the way to the right. So maybe if that was like the permanent kind of full tilt position, that could at least be a little bit clearer. I don't know really why I'm kind of reviewing it like this, just to kind of show you through the UI, I guess. What I really like as well is that they've introduced a few controls down here at the bottom. For one thing, we've got this warmth. I'm going to turn these down a bit more. And then we've got a really great compressor. Sometimes I use this on the way in. Obviously, I like to compress things within Logic myself, but there's something quite nice about just controlling the signal as it leaves the plugin. It's quite a nice sounding compressor. And then something that they've really thought about here is just this little notch EQ. Again, it's things like that that just makes you realize that the developers are probably also musicians themselves. They've thought about the playability of these instruments. And then as you can see down here at the bottom, we've also got a couple of echoes and spaces, reverbs. Now, these echoes are nice. And again, we've got little high pass filters here, which is quite helpful. Here's the second one. And then the third, which is quite creative. And again, something that I would maybe ask for them to do in an update would be to create one that is synced to the tempo of your DAW. I think stuff like that is really helpful. And then finally, we've got our spaces here. And again, we've got our high pass filter there. Now over here, we've got this vintage mode. Which has a lovely warm character to it. Again, if I was going to nitpick a little bit, I would say that this should be the same volume as the original sound. But it's got a lovely warm character to it. And look at this, if I just turn up the warmth here, and then turn up the compression, and then push this up a little bit. Now, if this wasn't enough, if you click over here, you've also got access to a whole load of other things. For example, muted sounds. Which is very spanky, very nice. We've got harmonics here, which is lovely. And then we've got random octaves and random notes. This is the random octaves one. I think someone's heard my thrumming textures libraries. Here's the random notes one. Second instrument on the list is Romina 2, and this is recorded in a similar way, but this is a bass guitar. Now, I would never normally think to play chords on bass guitars, but this library is so beautiful for that. It's got such a lovely warmth to it. And again. So you don't have to push it very far. The vintage is lovely too. And in the same way, we've got echo, space, warm, and a bit of compression as well, which is lovely. In a similar way, we've also got our other articulations, mute. But otherwise, we've got a lot of the same controls all round. This last one is quite a new one from Elementary Sounds, and it's called Tainer, I think. You know what I'm going to show you, don't you? So we've got a couple of controls in here. We've got reverse and yarn. Let's just have a listen to both of those. That's beautiful. And then the yarn. I tell you what, I'm going to get writing straight away. I really like the sound of that reverse. So I'm feeling something quite kind of subby. So I'm going to take this. I like it, but I don't think the overtones are necessary right now. So I'm just going to I'm going to add a little bit of transient master here just to turn down the attack. just cut that in the middle there. I'm going to use a bit of LFO tool here. We could add our pad. That's kind of cool. This could be like the start of some kind of a drama or something. This is really kind of the style that I'm into at the moment. So I haven't really read the manual on this yet, but let's just have a quick listen to what these do. Okay. 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 Let's make that nice and gentle there. All right, so let's just get rid of that pedal there. So let's just have a little listen to that. I've put a little bit of mastering on it. Nothing too crazy, just my kind of go-to settings. Let's just have a quick listen. It didn't take me very long to put this together. So there you go. It's pretty fun. I really love these instruments. They're not instruments I use every day, but they do regularly make it into my scores, particularly for this film that I'm working on at the moment, but also for other film type bits. I feel like whenever you want something that is just a little bit more cinematic, has the depth and the width, but is still guitar based or is still, based on a Rhodes or something like that. The idea with these instruments, I think, is that they complement real instruments really, really well. For example, with something like this, I might bring my friend in to play some guitar parts, but that doesn't take away from what I've already added, because there's something really credible to a pad-like sound that's been created through, mangling real samples through tapes or through pedals and things like that. So for Romina 1 and for Romina 2, they're not going to replace a guitarist, but they are certainly going to complement it. And, rather than spending ages tweaking the right sound with a player, the player has already been involved in the process of my music making ahead of time, which I think is really, really cool. As for the Tainer sound, I think this is going to be something that really works its way into my templates, because for particularly kind of paddy sounds like that, for TV drama, this kind of sound is really at the forefront at the moment, because it's that slightly more hybrid working environment. But I just love things like this. And as a company, I think they're doing really, really cool things. So there you go. You can check out the instruments down below. I'm going to leave a link to all of the instruments that I've played with today. Thank you to Elementary Sounds for sending me all of these libraries. They're a lot of fun to play with, and I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of them. Let me know if you like videos like this, sort of the slightly shorter, but just creating a sketch using a new library, because honestly, people send me libraries every week, and I have a bit of a promise to myself, much to the annoyance of people who've sent me stuff in the past and I've never made a video about it, but I only share the stuff that I really genuinely like. So that is my kind of seal of approval here. I don't need to ruin someone's reputation or, muddy the waters of what's good and not based on my opinions. That's not what this channel's ever going to be about. So yeah, let me know if you like videos like this, because I quite like making them. Anyway, do stay safe, stay well, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.